And hello, everybody. Before we get to some Beba tonight, we need to talk about some hockey. Oh, do we need to talk about some hockey? As the Boston Bruins have restored my faith. The Boston Bruins have tied up their series against the Carolina Hurricanes at 2 games apiece, something I did not think would happen. And as I kind of mentioned, my opinion was justified. Horrible in the regular season against Carolina. Horrible in the first 2 games against Carolina here in the playoffs. Done and dusted. They're going to play like this. They're done. They're screwed. And out of nowhere, and we talked about this at the end of Game 3, out of nowhere, the Hurricanes went soft. Huh. Who'd have thought that would happen? The same team that was essentially laughing in Brad Marchand's face at his attempts to rile them up when they were on home ice are the same team that took 17 bajillion penalties. I'd say all but one of them complete slam dunk cases, by the way. Hawks, thank you for the bits, by the way. I'm not anything NFT related. I'm not even bothering anymore to even talk about because it's so fucking stupid. I cannot believe that the Hurricanes played like they played in the last 2 games. I cannot believe it. As good as the Bruins played on home ice, I feel like the Hurricanes were almost, perhaps even more so, the reason as to why this series is tied. I don't understand what happened. But they looked so mentally soft. So many penalties. The Bruins' power play midway through Game 4 was still looking brutal. They were 0 for 3. And then how many power plays did the Bruins end up with in that game? I think it was 7 or some shit like that. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll try to look up the exact number here because Hockey Reference tracks that stuff really well. I cannot understand how Carolina has just let this happen. And apparently Hockey Reference doesn't have the numbers up yet. Damn. But point being, I just can't believe this. And as Piney just mentioned in chat, the Bruins were without their top 2 defensemen. The Bruins were without their top 2 defensemen. And essentially every single person on the Bruins stepped up. Every single one. Brad Marchand has figured it out. Thank God. Patrice Bergeron with 9 power plays. There you go. Patrice Bergeron with the... But here's my thing. Like I said, first 2 games of the series, Carolina gave Boston nothing. We're not going to let you feed off of anything. And now in Game 4 alone, you have the visual of Patrice Bergeron bleeding. And you have Brad Marchand, clear as day, getting under Tony DeAngelo's incredibly, microscopically thin skin like we all knew that he had. That might not be the only thing that you can kind of, use to describe Tony DeAngelo. Might not be the only thing. Oh, you wouldn't say that in his face. I would. Assault me. Go ahead. Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Nick Foligno looked great. I still can't believe that Chris Wagner hitting Carolina has made them wilt like this. For as physical of a team as Carolina can be, all it takes is Chris Wagner hitting them a few times. That shouldn't be the case. I'll admit, I was wrong. I didn't think that would be enough to turn the tide. But apparently it is. I'd still rather have Andrew Kopp in the lineup right now. But yeah, I don't understand it. Even Josh Brown was okay. Of course, Mike Riley's been playing well. Swayman was solid. And I agree, even Lazar got under Tony DeAngelo's skin, which isn't that rough. I, again, don't have too much to say about this particular game, aside from the fact that I am just very happy that I am in a positive mood, because I really didn't think that I would be. That Bruins team that played the first 5 games this year against Carolina is first-round sweep worthy, and instead, somehow now, the last 2 games at home, they look like the actual Bruins team that we saw post-deadline, where you sit there and say, oh yeah, shit, maybe Eric Hall is good enough to be the second-line center. I don't know what changed. I don't. You could say it was effort level from the team. Maybe it was Chris Wagner's physicality. Carolina just losing the plot. A combination of all 3 of those things and more. I do not understand it, but I am very, very thankful for it. And the Bruins at this stage could lose this series. And you know what? I obviously wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be overly upset, for the sole reason that they've proven they can hang with a really, really fucking good team. They can hang with a really good team. And if they lose to Carolina from this point on, hey, so be it. If they beat Carolina, that would mean Pittsburgh and New York next. And I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but boy, would I be shocked. Would I be shocked if either Carolina or Boston were to fall to the winner of Pittsburgh and New York. Don't get me wrong, the Penguins have looked pretty damn good, but how long can you possibly go with Louis Domingue? You gotta hope Tristan Jarry's healthy, or I can't see them going anywhere beyond round 1. I do think they have a chance of beating the Rangers, because for whatever reason, the Rangers are just in their own head, or that lack of overall team depth is starting to catch up to them, because Shesterkin isn't, at least he didn't rob the last 2 games. Game 1, he did what the hell he could. Andrew Kopp hat trick. No, it wouldn't piss me off. It would just prove me that further prove that I was right. So, all in all, I'm feeling great. Bruins for the cup. Who says no? I'm feeling great right now. And I will take this. They don't even have to win the series for me to be happy. They've at least not embarrassed themselves. And that's all I asked for like 4 or 5 days ago, was please don't embarrass yourselves. And they're going to avoid that. And they might even do better than that, because again, Tony DeAngelo is softer than baby shit. I remember he, what was it? He went back to New York. Aztec Fox, thank you for the follow, by the way. He went back to New York to play the Rangers, and he was essentially asked like if he cared if he was going to get booed, and he essentially whined like, well, I played hard when I was here. That man is so mentally fragile. It's unbelievable. And it's unfortunate, because he is a really good hockey player, but he is soft as baby shit. As pretty much all but confirmed by his Twitter account and everything else. Exactly, AJ. The totally not Tony DeAngelo Twitter burner account. It's beautiful. But, yeah, I don't know. I, at least for 2 games, got to see the Bruins play their best. Game 5 could go... Carolina could win the next 2 games and end the series. But like I said, at least the Bruins... Like, the Bruins were on pace. Like, if you watch those first 2 games, they were on pace to be just like Nashville. Get the fuck out of here. Who are you? Get out of the way. Real teams are trying to go to round 2. No disrespect, Nashville. You guys got boned by Saros being injured. At the same time, if you won more than 2 games, be honest, even you would have been surprised. The Bruins looked like they were destined to be the only other team to get swept aside from Nashville. Hell, Nashville almost won a game in overtime. Maybe the Bruins would be the only team to get swept. And now it's 2-2. So I am a very, very happy boy. At least for tonight. At least for today. But I don't know what to expect now. We look ahead to the next game. Hampus Lindholm, it's looking like he's not going to be out super long term, which is very surprising, given the nature of the hit by Svechnikov. And then you also have Charlie McAvoy, who missed today's game with COVID. Who was it? Was it Ryan Whitney on Twitter who said, "Why did they test him?" That's the attitude we have now, huh? Why would you let your hockey player take a COVID test during the playoffs? That's where the attitude is from COVID for most people now, I guess. By the way, the only way they'd make you take a test is if it's pretty obvious that you're sick as fuck. And yeah, you're a danger to everybody around you and you shouldn't be playing hockey, which is what happened. And even if it's not the case, he will probably miss Game 5 as well because of the protocols that they have with having players sit out. But the Bruins can win without Charlie McAvoy, apparently. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? Bruins in 5. If only, Sin. If only. So the Boston Bruins got to win. I'm feeling fucking great. And let's hope I feel this way. It's a bear again. It's no longer a fish. I've seen the bear. But who will show up in Game 5? The fish or the bear? I hope it's the bear. Please let it be the bear. Because the bear makes Tony DeAngelo go full diaper. And it makes me laugh when a grown man shits his pants and throws his stick on an empty net breakaway like a child. It's the best. It's the best. Fuck Tony DeAngelo. Fuck him.